Right, okay. So number 35 was okay, and he asked me to do number 38, okay? So number 38, I suppose if I were pen that writes would be handy. Right, 38 is x squared minus 25, okay, equals 0. So in order to solve this, girls, you need to factorize first, okay? Right, how do you know you have to factorize first? Because there's an x squared term. Okay, when there's an x squared term, that's the hint to factorize first. If it's just x on its own, it'd be x on one side, numbers on the other, okay? But when there's an x squared term, that's the clue to factorize first, okay? So, how do you factorize this? What is it? It's the difference of two squares. So it's x to be squared, take away 5 to be squared, equals 0. And then when you factorize that, that's x and x, 5 and 5, a plus and a minus, right? Okay, equals 0, right? If they said factorize, I'm done, but they said solve. So that means each bracket equals 0. So the first bracket is x plus 5, that equals 0. The second bracket is x minus 5 equals 0. So that means x is equal to, bring it over the wall, it becomes a minus 5. This one, bring minus 5 over the wall, becomes a plus 5. Okay, is that right? Okay, 41. Am I doing 41? It's the difference of two squares again. Yeah, okay. So 41, girls, is 9x squared, right, minus 16. Okay, so there's an x squared term, so that's your clue to factorize. Okay, so when there's an x squared term, that's your clue to factorize. Okay, so this is the difference of two squares. So 3x all to be squared, take away 4 all to be squared. Okay, so that would be 3x and 3x, 4 and 4, and a plus and a minus. Or you can put a minus and a plus. The order of the signs, it doesn't matter, okay? Right. If they said factorize, I'm done, but they said solve, so let each bracket equal 0. So that's 3x plus 4 equals 0, and you get 3x minus 4 equals 0. Okay, so you get the x's on one side, numbers on the other, so leave the 3x, bring the plus 4 over the wall, becomes a minus 4. There's a 3 stuck to the x, so divide each side by 3, they cancel, and you get x is equal to minus 4 over 3. Or minus 1 1/3 if you like. Okay? Right, over here, 3x is equal to, bring the minus 4 over the wall, it becomes a plus 4. There's a 3 stuck to the x, so divide each side by 3, and you get x is equal to 4 over 3, and that's 1 1/3 again. Right, okay? Is that right? Yes, Rose? Yeah. If you said, if the sum was factorized and you solved it, they would ignore all this bit, and if you this line right, they'd give you full marks.
So they wouldn't put on any extra or
No, if you do extra work, they'll ignore it. Right, okay? So if they say factorize and you solve, but you've the factorizing done first, you get full marks. Right? So when they're correcting maths, and also with maths, you know the way if you do it 5 times, okay, and you're not sure which one is right, leave them all there. If one of them is right, you'll get full marks. Okay? Right? The marking in maths is extremely generous. Okay? So, right, you know, if you're not sure how to do a sum and you do it 3 different ways and you get 3 different answers, leave them all there, and if one of them is right, you'll get full marks. It's great, isn't it? Right, okay, can I rub this out? Right, how do we feel about those? Yeah, so you solve, you need to factorize first, and remember to factorize, it could be the quadratics, right, where you get the factors of the number at the end to add or subtract to give you the middle term. That's one way. Second way would be take out what's common, and it's normally an x that's common, right, and then you let x equal 0 and whatever's inside the bracket equal 0. Or it's the difference of two squares, and then you let each bracket equal 0. Okay? Yes?
do you remember, for example, last week had a minus 4 over 3?
Yeah.
Put the minus next to the 4 or like next to the fraction?
Oh, you want to know when it ends up being minus 4 over 3?
Yeah.
Is it like, is the minus 4 with the, is the minus with the 4? Or is the minus with the 3? Or do you just put the minus out in front?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Either or. Right? As long as there's one minus written somewhere. Right? They're all, that is correct, that is correct, that is correct. They all mean the same thing. Okay? Is that right? Okay. Right. Will I move on? We're okay to move on? Right. Okay. So if I said to you, solve. Now, yeah, you can listen to me for a moment, right? So I would say, don't write anything for a moment because I'm going to be rubbing stuff out. Right, okay, if I said solve that, right, okay, so don't write, just listen, right? So if I said solve that, what would you do? You do 5 by 3 and you say are 15, wouldn't you? And you want the factors of 15 that subtract to give me 7. Right? So we can have 1 by 15, that's not it, because they subtract to give me 14. I can have 3 by 5, they subtract to give me 2, don't they? Right? Okay. So, and I've no more factors. Right? Okay, so there's no more factors. Right? So the reason, girls, this one isn't working out, because the answer is a big long decimal that goes on forever. Okay, so that's why you can't get the factors, okay, because they're actually decimals. Okay, so we have to have another way to solve these, right? And we use what's called the quadratic formula. Now, the quadratic formula is, again, don't write, just listen, because this looks very complicated, but you're actually going to like this one. B squared minus 4AC all over 2 times A. Do I need to learn that? No, because it's in the log tables that you have to buy, right? And I must give out to people who paid them, right? Okay. So it's in the log tables. Do you have to open the log tables? No, because it's written on the front cover. It's right there, right? Okay. So you don't even have to open the log tables because it's right there. Look at it, right? Okay. So you don't have to learn that formula. It's in the log tables and you're entitled to one of these all the time. Okay? So, what you do is, right, A is the number written in front of x squared. So here's my equation. Right, A is the number written in front of x squared. So what number is written in front of x squared? 5. Right? B is the number written in front of x. What number is written in front of x? 7. Who said 7? You're wrong. It's almost 7. It's minus 7, isn't it? So if there's a minus sign, you have to take it. Girls, and C is the number written by itself. Minus 3. Okay? So A, B, and C are just numbers. This isn't a next to be seen. Right? Okay? Not a next to be seen. Just the numbers in front. Okay? So then you fill in your formula. So to fill in your formula, you start with a minus. And then you write B. What's B? Minus 7. Now I've ended up with 2 minuses there. Why have I ended up with 2 minuses? The first minus came from the formula and the second minus is part of B. 2 minuses in a row will give me a plus. Now, this here is plus minus. That means it can be a plus or it can be a minus. Because you know the way you have to get 2 answers. So at the very end, I'm going to get 2 answers. Okay? Right? And one is going to be, I'm going to put a plus in there. And the other answer is, I'm going to put a minus in there. Anyway, square root of B squared, right? So B, what's B? Minus 7 to be squared. And put it in brackets because we're going to be keying this into our calculator. And if you don't put it in brackets, the calculator won't square minus 7. It'll square 7 and put a minus in front of the answer, which is very different. Okay? Now, minus 4AC is minus 4 multiplied by A multiplied by C. So I'm putting those in brackets because they're multiplied. Brackets is multiply, yeah? Okay? All over 2 times A, which is 2 times 5. Okay? Then you abandon your copy and off you go to your calculators and you key this in exactly as you see it, except here you put in a plus, right? So I'm just going to move that over there, right? I'm just going to load this up a small bit. Okay, so in order to put this in, first thing I do is put a fraction button. Then on top of the line I go 7 plus, right, okay, the square root of, open bracket, minus 7, close bracket, squared, minus 4, open bracket, 5, close bracket, open bracket, minus 3, close bracket. Is that okay? Then underneath I'm going to go 2, bracket, 5. Okay? Right, are we all okay with that? Now, press equals. Right, it's going to give you your answer. This is your answer in surge form. Surge, girls, a surge has a square root sign. So sometimes they'll say give your answer in surge form. So that's my answer in surge form, okay? Right? If they say correct how many decimal places, you press S to D. Right? So S to D, and you'll get 1.744. 1.744. Is that okay? Right, as you see, the answer is a big long decimal that goes on forever. Right? You can say that doesn't go on forever, but it fills as many places of decimals as the calculator allows. Okay? So if I was on a computer that allowed 100 places of decimals, there'd be 100 places of decimals. Okay? Right. Then to get my second answer, what'll I do? Instead of where I put that plus, I'm now going to go back and put the minus. Do I have to type the whole thing in again? No. Just use the back arrow, right? So use the back arrow. Right, so to get back to where the minus is, it's a long way back. There we go. Press the delete key, DEL, right, and change that plus to a minus, right? Press equals. And this is your answer in surge form. So my second answer in surge form is 7 minus root 109 over 10. But they ask for it in decimal form, we'll say. So what'll I do? Press S to D. Right, and my other answer is minus 0.344. That's correct to 3 places of decimals. Okay, so you know the way in the sums I was doing last night, I got 2 answers. How many answers did I get here? 2. 1.744. Sorry, that's really bad. 1.744 is one answer and minus 0.344 is the other answer. Right? Do we want to call this example 1, please? And you can write it down now. Okay, hang on now. So let's call it example 1. Under using the heading is quadratic formula. Okay, so maybe using the quadratic formula. Yes? I'll tell you that now in 1 minute, okay? That's a good question. How do you know when to use it? Right, I'll tell you what the question, how the question will be phrased. Yes? That's the rule. A is the number, it's like A, B, C, alphabetical order. So A is the number in front of x squared, right? B is the number in front of x, and C is the number in minus 3. The number on its own. It's always that. Okay? Yes? In here? That's a B, sorry. 2A. What happens is things get half rubbed out and then I write over them and then you can't read them. Sorry. Okay, girls, your test, remember you were asking me and wasn't sure. It's Monday the 14th, right? Monday the 14th of December, okay? We have maths at, where are we? Straight after lunch, we have maths, I think, right? And the test is going to be for a double class, so we're going to arrange, I think you have English or Irish straight after it. We're going to arrange with the teachers that we take their class and we give it back to them at another stage. Okay? So, and the test is going to be on everything we've done. Yes.
You know the ABC, like,
Yeah?
how do you know what to do? How do you know what to do?
Say that again.
How do you know what to do?
A is the number in front of x squared. So they'll give you the equation. So A will be the number in front of x squared, B is the number in front of x, and C is the number on its own. Is that okay? I'll do a second example now in a minute and you might see it better. Okay. Right, okay. So do you want to take a minute to write into your diary Monday the 14th maths Christmas test, and I'll tell you what chapters you have. Right? So we have chapters, so it's from 105 to 225. So it's a double class where we're asking your, I think it's English. Is it English?
Yes.
Yeah, we're asking your English teachers for a loan in the class and they said we could have it. Right? Okay? And the chapters are Algebra 1, which is chapter 1, Factors, which is chapter 2, Sets, which is chapter 3, and the last one, the chapter we're in now, 15. But it won't be all of 15, it'll be 15.1, 15.2, and that'll be it. Okay? So it's not all of 15, it's just 15.1 and 15.2. Right? Okay? Are we good? So 1, 2, 3 and 15, but not all of 15. 15.1 and 15.2. But it's all of chapter 1, all of chapter 2 and all of chapter 3. Okay? And it's on Monday the 14th. So maybe next, I don't see you on Wednesdays, isn't that right? So if I'll do a revision class with you next Thursday and Friday. Is that okay? Because it's Monday week, isn't it? Yeah, it would be. Yeah, so it's Monday week. So next Thursday and Friday I'll do a revision classes with you. Okay? Now, and for revision classes, if you have questions, bring them to the revision class. Okay? Because I might just do stuff you know already. Okay? You know, if I pick a topic, I might pick something you're good at. So if you come with the questions, can you go over section 1.5? Right? Stuff like that. If you come with the questions, I'll revise what you want me to revise. Okay? And if you don't have any questions, I'll just pick a section and revise it. Yes? Yeah? Yes. Was that what you wanted as well, Eva? Yes? What? This is third form. So look, this is third form. And we'll see sometimes they'll say give your answer in third form, and or sometimes they'll say give your answer correct to 3 places of decimals. So my advice would be to write down both, and then you can't go wrong. You can't? Yes?
Do we have to equal 0 at the end of it? Do you still include that?
No. It has to be equal to 0. If it equals to anything else, you have to do something with it before we start. We'll see one of those. Right, so you're only allowed to use the minus b formula when it equals 0. If that equals 4, you'd have to do something else with it, which I'll get to in a minute. Right, okay? Are we okay? Why are they so noisy? Sorry? Right. Okay, are we good to go on to example 2? Minus 0.344. Right, okay, the girls who paid me for the log tables, do you want to collect them over there? So, see the box alongside Aoife, right, okay, so wait, I'll just make sure, I'll check my list, hang on a minute Ava. Right, Aoife, do you want to get one? Put your hand into the box and take one. Bonnie, do you want to get one? Holly? Ashleen? Rachel? And Eva? Oh, sorry, and Vivian. And will the rest of you buy them off me because you need it for your Christmas test? Why do you need it for your Christmas test? Because it's got the minus b formula in it, hasn't it? Right, okay. You have one already? Is that what you're going to tell me? You have the money now, right? Come up and pay me now, so, and I'll write down your name just so I know you've paid. You have one at home, you don't need to buy one, so. Okay? Girls, if you have older sisters or brothers, you probably have one at home already. So if you have one at home already, right, okay, and you're happy to share or they're finished with it, right, that's fine, okay? Now, and you can go to the box and collect it, okay? 4. Yeah, are we good? Anyone else before I put this away? Right, okay. And as I say, girls, you need it for your Christmas test because either that or learn the minus b formula. But you have to buy those anyway. You need them for other stuff anyway. And they'll do you all the way up to Leaving Cert. So make sure you put your name in it and don't ever throw them out. Okay? Right, you all hear me? They'll do you right the way to Leaving Cert. And if you do maths in college, they'll do you in college as well. Okay? So it's €4 for the rest of your life. Okay? Will I have time for a second example? Sure, I can start it anyway. Right, okay? So example 2. So example, stupid thing. Now I'll explain how you know tomorrow, how you know, right? The question that Rachel asked me. How do you know when to use it? I'll explain that tomorrow, okay? Right, for the moment we're going to solve let's see, right, so write down the formula. Minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2 times a. Right, a is the number in front of x squared. So what number is in front of x squared? 3. Does everyone see where I got a is equal to 3? It's the number in front of x squared. B is the number in front of x. What number, I hear you say? When there's no number, what's understood to be there? 1. So it's minus 1, isn't it? Right, and C is the number on its own. No, minus 1. Minus 1 again. Right, okay, is that okay? Then you fill in. First thing you write down is a minus sign. Then you write B, which is minus 1. So I've ended up with 2 minuses in a row there. 2 minuses become a plus. Plus minus the square root of B squared is minus 1 to B squared minus 4 times A is 3 and C is minus 1 all over 2 times A, which is 2 times 3. Then you go straight to your calculator, right? Okay, you write it in as you see it. Obviously you can't put plus minus into your calculator, so you pick the plus one first. So when you're putting it into your calculator, you press the fraction button first, and then you go 1 plus, then you write everything under the square root sign, so that would be minus 1 minus that's 1, 1 plus 13.
Excuse me, please, a reminder to teachers to attend in City Council.
You type it exactly as you see it. I'm just typing less in because and one answer will be 1 plus root 13 over 6, and that's the answer you give if they say insert form, right? If they say correct to how many decimal places, we'll just say they said correct to 2 places decimals, it'd be 0.77, and then you put in 1 minus, right, all of that, okay, and that would be, that's it in third form. And if they said correct to 2 places decimals, you would just S to D it. Right, which is 0.43. Sorry, minus 0.43. Okay, I'm going to give you 3 of these to try for homework. So it's page 355, and it's 1, 3, and 5. Okay, and I'll put this onto Teams, the recording onto Teams, so you can have a listen again if you're confused. Sorry, page 355, 1, 3, and 5.